Greetings. My name is John Kenyon, and I am the focal point for the Iowa City UNESCO City of Literature. I'm also a member of the Development and Integration Group for our cluster. With the addition of 10 cities of literature late last year, our group has been working to find ways to welcome these newcomers to our family. To that end, we offered them the chance to share a short video introducing their cities and some of the people working in them. What follows is a compilation of those videos from many of the newly designated cities. We hope you embrace this opportunity to learn more about your colleagues and their cities as we all look forward to meeting in person at our gathering in Tartu. Thank you, and please enjoy this program.
Emlyn Jones dwi, a fi yw mae'r tref Aberystwyth. Rydyn teimlo balchder enfawr yn bod ni wedi cael allwedd gan UNESCO i weithio gyda chi, dinasoedd llên a chreadigol y byd. Dwi'n edrych ymlaen yn fawr i greu cysylltiadau rhyngwladol newydd a gobeithio cael y cyfle croesawu chi yma i Aberystwyth dros y blynyddoedd nesaf.
Mae'r Eryll Hopwood ydw i, a dwi'n gadeirydd ar bartneriaeth Dinas Llên Aberystwyth Ceredigion Cymru. Bu 6 sefydliad yn rhan o'r bartneriaeth a luniodd y cais ar y cyd a phobl ledled yr ardal, ac rydyn ni wrth yn bodd o gael y cyfle hwn i roi Cymru, yr iaith Gymraeg a'n llenyddiaeth gyfoethog ni mewn cysylltiad â'r byd drwy'r rhwydwaith ryfeddol hon. Ni chi wedi clywed gan Emlyn a Chyngor y Dre, ac yn y clipiau nesaf hyn, gewch glywed gan y 5 partner arall.
Helgard Krause ydw i, a fi o Brif Weithredwr Cyngor Llyfrau. Fel almeinys sydd wedi dysgu Cymraeg, rwy'n ryfeddu at gyfoeth Llenyddol Cymru a mor falch ein bod ni wedi cynnwys prosiect fel straeon a geiriau bob dydd yn y dynodiad. Mae llenyddiaeth yn y palmentydd ar y welydd ac yn y DNA y ddinas hon.
Rodri Llwyd Morgan ydw i, dwi'n Brif Weithredwr Llyfrgell Genedlaethol Cymru. Rydyn ni'n amcangyfri bod dros 10 miliwn o lyfrau yn yr ardal, ac mae llawer iawn ohonyn nhw fan hyn yn y Llyfrgell Genedlaethol, ynghyd â thrysorau lu o lawysgrifau hynafol ac archifau unigryw, ac ystod o gasgliadau sydd yn cadw cof y genedl. Un o brosiectau'r dynodiad yw agor llyfrau, a nod y prosiect yw hybu y cariad at lyfrau.
I'm Matt Jarvis, and I represent Aberystwyth University in the partnership. One of the partnership's projects is Reading the Landscape, and with colleagues across the university, from the traditional literary departments to the geography department, we explore how literature can promote a better understanding of the environment.
Catrin Davies ydw i, a rwy'n aelod cabinet a chyrfuddoldeb dros ddiwylliant a gwasanaethau cwsmeriaid yma yng Ngheredigion. Mae'n cais ni'n cyfeirio at oleidau llên ac at heddwch cadarnhaol, ac mae yna gynlluniau i ddatblygu twristiaeth gynaladwy o Gastell Aberteifi i Ystrad Fflir, ac i fapio hewlydd heddwch ar hyd yr ardal, a hefyd i ystyried sut gall llenyddiaeth greu cymdeithas decach.
Elin Haf Griffith Jones ydw i, a dwi'n gyfarwyddwr ar ganolfan uwchefrydiau Cymreig a Cheltaidd Prifysgol Cymru, sy'n gartre i lenyddiaeth ar draws ffiniau a chyfnewidfa len Cymru. Ers degawdau, dyn ni wedi bod wrthi yn hyrwyddo cysylltiadau rhyngwladol drwy lenyddiaeth a chyfieithu llenyddol, ac mae'r dynodiad hwn ac yn enwedig y prosiect Pontydd Llenyddol yn caniatáu i ni ehangu a dyfnhau ar ein gwaith.
Diolch am wrando.
Diolch am wrando.
Diolch am wrando.
Diolch.
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 Diolch i chi am wrando.
In 2020, just as we were coming out of COVID and grappling with those realities and what our world was becoming, we heard from one of our friends in the UK UNESCO Commission there, who shared with us how the UNESCO Creative Cities Network was lacking in more representation from the Global South, from Africa. And we thought, why not? Many people felt that Abuja was perhaps not the kind of city that could bring something to the network, mostly because Abuja is so young. But Abuja is made up of people who have storied legends, who have stories, who have histories, and who have lived, worked, developed, grown in this land. And it has become the melting pot of the entire country. Abuja grew very quickly. But more than that, Abuja became the melting pot for 250 ethnic groups and 500 languages from all over Nigeria. There's no way to know your purpose if we don't know your story. And so everybody has a story. And we believe that those stories must be heard, should be heard. And we want to create a platform to be able to hear everybody's story. And so for 6 years, we traveled, we experienced other cities of literature. Thanks to Dublin City of Literature, thank you to Heidelberg. We went to Paris, we went to the secretariat there. Thank you to the Nigeria's permanent delegation to UNESCO and the ambassador there, Ambassador Hajo Sani. Thank you to everyone who played a role to bring us here. Thank you to our partners in other cities, Dublin City of Literature, Iowa City, to Seattle, to Edinburgh. Thank you to London. Thank you to all our friends everywhere who believed in this and who helped us get here. We've also built strong networks locally in Nigeria and elsewhere on the continent by bringing our literary community together, as well as other art lovers and creatives. We've been able to grow a very strong local community around our desert. We're now in the process of building out our City of Literature and strengthening the structures on which our programs will run. So we invite you to be a part of what we're doing. We welcome you to work with us, to grow with us, and to create a new narrative out of Abuja and Nigeria, that our stories not only work on screen, they work in people's mouths, because that word of mouth is the most powerful form that we have.
Celje was designated as a UNESCO Creative City of Literature in 2025. We are very excited about this because literature is deeply embedded in the city's history, institutions, and everyday life. It has been present from the Roman settlement of Celje to the Counts of Celje, an influential noble dynasty whose castle remains one of Celje's most recognized landmarks and a frequent setting of cultural events and activities. Celje is also home to Slovenia's oldest publishing house, Celjska Mohorjeva Družba, and Alma Karlin, the celebrated author and traveler. Our office is currently situated in Celje Central Library, one of the most important cultural institutions in Celje. Incidentally, it's also where Annika, Celje's focal point, works as a librarian. The library is a hub of varied literary activities and events, as well as one of the most important promoters of reading culture in the city. Of course, all of Celje is actively committed to fostering and strengthening reading literacy across all generations, and there are numerous lively literary activities taking place in the city all year round. Every year, for example, we host the annual Rosh Days literary contest for young writers, a tradition Celje has upheld for 39 years now. Another tradition is the Veronica Award, the national award handed out each year to Slovene poets for their work. It is celebrating its 50th anniversary and has long been a mainstay of Celje's literary scene. The Little Veronica Award, aimed at high schoolers with budding ambitions in the field of poetry, is also celebrating its 10th birthday, and we hope to see it continue for many more years. The largest literary festival in Slovenia, Fabula, also takes place in Celje, together with Ljubljana, Slovenia's other city of literature. Of course, this is just a quick peek into everything that Celje has to offer. We hope that through our membership in the network, we can continue to nurture and enrich our literary ecosystem and build lasting relationships with other cities of literature.
Je suis Sansi Kabagekte, point focal de Conakry, ville créative de l'UNESCO en littérature. Nous sommes très heureux d'appartenir à ce réseau exceptionnel de villes du monde en charge de la promotion de la littérature. Conakry a été parrainé par Angoulême et Québec. Nous les remercions et nous disons à toutes les autres villes de ce réseau que nous allons jouer notre partition dans l'animation et dans les activités au niveau international. Dans notre mandat, nous avons prévu de créer la Biennale africaine du livre ici pour créer le marché du livre sur le continent. Ensuite, mettre en place le musée du livre de Conakry pour valoriser les alphabets, les systèmes d'écriture inventés par les Guinéens, par les Africains, pour raconter l'histoire du monde de la littérature à partir de Conakry. Et, le label Conakry Ville Créative de l'UNESCO nous rapproche de notre objectif final, faire de Conakry la capitale africaine du livre.
Durant les 4 prochaines années, à travers le programme Conakry Ville Créative, nous nous engageons à faire rayonner ce label, notamment pendant les 72 heures du livre de Conakry. Le thème de cette édition, jeunesse et numérique, avec pour sous-thème créativité, innovation et engagement, s'inscrit pleinement dans cette dynamique. À cet effet, nous invitons toutes les villes du réseau à s'impliquer à nos côtés pour renforcer ce label et remercions chaleureusement les membres du réseau des villes créatives pour leur accueil dans cette prestigieuse communauté.
UNESCO's designation of Conakry as a creative city of literature is not just a title. It is the recognition of a long cultural journey built on vision, resilience, and love for books. As president of the organizing committee of the 18th edition of the 72 Hours of the Book, I see this moment as both an honor and a duty. Through this year's theme, Youth and Digital, we are investing in the next generations of readers, writers, and creators who will carry Conakry's literary identity into the future. I'm Kahramanmaraş. Welcome to Conakry.
Bienvenue à Conakry, ville créative de l'UNESCO en littérature.
Conakry, ville créative de l'UNESCO en littérature.
Hello, my name is Ian Rosales Casopot. I am a professor of creative writing at Silliman University in Dumaguete City. And I am also the focal point of our UNESCO Creative City of Literature. Dumaguete is a fairly small city of just 150,000 people. It is the capital city of the province of Negros Oriental, in the eastern part of an island called Negros, right in the middle of the archipelago of the Philippines, in a region we call the Visayas. Prior to our designation as a city of literature, we went by various monikers, including the City of Gentle People and also University Town, owing to the fact that despite its small population, we boast of 4 big universities. This includes Silliman University, which was founded by American missionaries in 1901, and which was instrumental in developing much of the contemporary literary scene in the city. In 1962, for example, 2 of our great local writers, Edith Tiempo and Edilberto Tiempo, founded the Silliman University National Writers Workshop, which remains to date the oldest and still continuing creative writing workshop in Southeast Asia, styled after the model of the Iowa Writers Workshop. The Tiempos are alumni of that program. The Tiempos also helped spearhead the establishment of the first creative writing program, degree program, in the Philippines in 1951. Today, These two institutions have not only shaped local writing, but have contributed vastly to contemporary Philippine literature, with many of its graduates going on to found their own writing workshops and programs elsewhere in the country, earning the Silliman Workshop the distinction of being the mother of all workshops in the Philippines. As a UNESCO Creative City of Literature, we decided to embrace the motto and identity of City of Stories because we wanted to go beyond just the expected riches of literature and creative writing, such as fiction, poetry, drama, creative nonfiction, and literary criticism, but also to embrace other cultural aspects our city is known for. This includes songwriting, because we have the Bell Tower Project, a very strong community of musicians and songwriters who have tried to define the so-called Dumaguete sound. There's also film writing because we have a strong film community of mostly young filmmakers, and our city has two festivals, Lutas Film Festival and the Silliman Film Open. There's the theater arts and playwriting because we have a vibrant community theater scene spearheaded by such groups as the Youth Advocates through Theater Arts. And there's the visual arts because many of our fine artists also consciously strive to publish their creative works in books, especially through the publishing efforts of Pinspired. We have an annual literary festival called the Dumaguete Literary Festival, which usually happens around April, but we also host a roster of literary events all year, such as poetry readings, book launches, literacy campaigns, and community reading projects like Silent Book Club 6200. We also have regular literary tours of Dumaguete, where we take guests and literature-minded tourists through specific spots around the city that are reflected in the literary works of local writers. We have a fantastic library at Silliman University, and the local government in Dumaguete has pledged to build a beautiful and more expansive public library for the city, especially owing to the UNESCO designation. We also have some of the best theater spaces in the country. Our Luz Auditorium, for example, is considered to be the biggest and best theater in the country outside of the capital of Manila. Here we have a regular cultural season that programs musical, theatrical, and literary events every year. And since we are a small city, we thrive in intimate literary offerings. So our bookstores, such as Libraria Books and Utopia Books, are small, but they have become favorite watering holes for our literature-minded population. Our publishing is also small, but it is growing in terms of independent publishing outfits like Doom Out Press and Pinspired. And above all, Dumaguete is home and haven to hundreds of writers of all stripes, including migrants from countries like the United States, France, Switzerland, South Korea, and Pakistan. We write our books of fiction, of poetry, of essays, of drama, and many of us have won national awards for our literary outputs. This year, we are finally publishing an anthology that collects many of these works that figure Dumaguete and Negros Oriental as the center. I began dreaming of this UNESCO designation 15 years ago when I was a fellow for the International Writing Program in Iowa City in 2010. I found both cities quite similar, although one is blonde and bounded by cornfields, while the other is Asian and is bounded by mountains to the west and tropical seas to the east. My Iowa experience made me think that we have back home, but what we have back home can indeed be reasons enough for Dumaguete to become a UNESCO Creative City of Literature. And finally, this dream has come true. Thank you and welcome to Dumaguete.
Hi, this is Gdansk UNESCO City of Literature, the city designated in October 2025. We're so happy to be part of this network, and we're so happy to welcome you here in the bookstore, which is in the headquarters of Gdansk House of Literature, the operator of the title and of the program. Our team consists of 10 people who are highly involved in the programs such festivals, authors meetings, events, exhibitions, literary awards, and so on. We cannot wait to welcome you in here, and we're so happy that we will meet soon in Tartu in May for the Subnetwork meeting. My name is Ella, and I am the focal point, and I'd like you to meet my team.
Hi, my name is Natalia. I'm head of program department. Welcome in Gdansk.
Hi, my name is Marta.
Hello, I'm Alexandra.
Hi, my name is Maria.
Please do this time.
Hi, my name is Katarzyna.
Hello, my name is Cornelia.
Rosalie w dzień swojego pogrzebu chciała wyglądać idealnie. Bezwzględnie zakazała ubierać się w czerń. Poinformowała przy tym, że jeżeli tak się stanie, będzie straszyć.
Trzy, cztery. Zbliż do Heleny.
By miało całkowite unieważnienie dystansu między sceną a widownią.
Drugim motorem w jej życiu była pycha. Najniebezpieczniejszy gatunek tej cnoty szatana, gdyż wolna od wszelkich łagodzących słabostek ludzkich, co jej zwykle towarzyszą.
Nie mówili nam wtedy, że będziemy krzywdzić innych samym istnieniem, że bycie mężczyzną to patrzenie na piersi, pocięte żyletką w głąb miejsca.
Gdansk House of Literature is a municipal institution funded and established by the city of Gdansk. We're currently in the headquarters in the main town at Długa Street, but we're expecting the new headquarters in 2 years, and I hope to see you at the opening.
Hello everyone, my name is Elif and I am the focal point of Kahramanmaraş. At the very next morning after the designation, our residents found books at their doorsteps, distributed overnight across the city with a note telling them the good news. Since then, we have launched several campaigns and programs. We are quite busy, but still we are celebrating this great achievement. Here, I would like to express our sincere gratitude to everyone, the UCCM family, our Turkish National Commission, all experts involved, and of course, wonderful focal points we have met. The professional, technical, emotional support we received to really reflect the spirit of the network, and we are honored, we are happy to join you. I also congratulate new fellow citizens share in their joy. Please allow me to express an important aspect of our journey. This is a city hosting over 80,000 refugees. This is also a city that was hit by 2 devastating earthquakes just a few years ago, which means we are actually facing those challenges we all talk in the UCCN and everywhere. Despite the enormous destruction, despite heavily pressuring matters, our commitment to becoming a creative city is for us like a declaration that we say we know the importance and value of literature and all forms of creative expression, not only for healing and remembrance, but also for regeneration, reconstruction, for building resilience and peace. I believe we will have some opportunities to discuss these matters further in the annual conference. We are truly excited to meet you all there in Tartu. Thank you.
Hello, my name is Stefan and I serve as the Alternative Executive Contact. Our office operates under the Metropolitan Municipality, cooperating with local stakeholders. As a newly designated city, we are excited to learn from your experiences and to build meaningful and lasting partnerships across the network. Our priority is to actively contribute to the network, to support cultural exchange, and to create opportunities for collaboration. We have developed initiatives in our action plan, and we are delighted to share them in the near future with you. We look forward to meeting all of you at the annual conference in Tartu. Please do not hesitate to reach out to us. We would be delighted to collaborate and exchange information with you in the upcoming days.
Thank you. See you soon.
Hey, hello. My name is Karin Runevad and I am focal point of Lund, City of Literature.
And I'm Emma-Karin Renman and I'm the other focal point of Lund. And when we were writing our application to the UCCN, we learned that 90% of the people who live in Lund own a bike. So we thought, what better way of showing you Lund than by bike? Let's go.
So, Lund is a really old town. People have lived in the area for about 6,000 years. Lund Cathedral is from the 10th century and Lund University was founded in 1666. So, history is kind of everywhere. But at the same time, it's a very young city. About 130,000 people live here, and a third of them are students. It's a very international city. Around 35% of the population have an international background, so you hear lots of different languages every day. It's also a city built for everyday life. There are about 160 playgrounds and almost everyone bikes. Around 90% actually own a bike. And sustainability isn't just a goal here, it's something the city really works on. Lund is aiming to be climate neutral and fossil-free by 2030. When it comes to literature, Lund has a really strong infrastructure. The public libraries play a big role with lots of outreach and even after-hour services. And across the city there are so many independent organizations and student groups who really creates a very lively cultural scene. Lund is also full of writers. At the university there is a long tradition of working with what we call existential sustainability. Basically, it's questions about meaning, hope, and how we understand our place in the world. The idea has also been embraced by the city, and you can see it in many literary activities that bring people together and talk about the human experience. If I should highlight a few key themes in Lund's literary life, I'd say children and young adult literature, especially through Litera Lund, which is the largest professional conference of its kind in the Nordic region. The connection between nature and literature, and existential sustainability, how literature can create dialogue between people and help us better understand what it means to be human. Lund is also a member of ICON since 2016.